everybody, KC0 Valley Tom here, and field day, field day, field day! This is field day weekend. As you can tell, everybody gets really excited about field day. Field day is probably the biggest event in amateur radio. And the second big event is winter field day coming up in January? Yeah, January. So, but we'll concentrate here in June, here on summer field day or just field day. Field day, if you're not sure what field day is, if you're new to amateur radio or not in amateur radio and kind of wonder what these guys are doing out in the field and hanging wires all over the place, field day is a practice event. It is simulation of a national emergency where the government, something has happened in the country, and the government has asked amateur radio operators to set their equipment up in a safe, unfamiliar location because you can't stay in your homes for one reason or another. So you go set up in a city park or out in a field, picnic table, tent, an RV. Pool works great for field HQs. As you go through, so goal number one of field day is to set up your equipment in an unfamiliar, safe location. Running on backup power, batteries, generator, solar cells, whatever, hand cranks. Then goal number two is in a 24-hour period, make as many contacts as possible. Now, depending on your station location, it's not, when I mean location, I mean, are you outside or in a home? Are you, in some type of vehicle? You're given so many points to hand out. Your classification is X number of points. If you're running on backup power or city utilities, that can add more points to you if you're on backup power. So in a 24-hour period, as you're making contacts across the country, you do an exchange is made, or I'm a 1 Alpha Iowa, I'm contacting a 2 Bravo Wisconsin. I get some extra points because on my check sheet because they are Bravo, which I believe is backup power or generator power. And at the end of the day, you tabulate all your points and send them in, and the club with the most points, and usually you hear about this like October, November, gets bragging rights for the rest of the year. The third goal of field day is to promote amateur radio to the general public, and there's a lot of ways you can do it. If you're in a city park, make sure you have an information officer or a table set up where somebody's manning it. When somebody comes up and says, "What are you guys doing with all these antennas?" And just having that table and some handouts, and you can download the handouts and print them off locally from ARRL's website, you get some added bonus points. Having a safety officer overseeing operations as you're installing all the equipment, you get added bonus points. Having what we call a go-to station, where it's a station set up being supervised by an operator, where Joe Blow, Mr. Public, come up there and make contacts with somebody in Montana. It's a big surprise to look on their face and they realize they're talking to somebody over there. You get bonus points for that. So again, there's a lot of ways. If you sit down and go through the rules of field day, you can get a lot of extra points besides just out there beating the bushes for those contacts. I've heard as high as 75 to 80% of operators in the country will be operating this weekend sometime or another. Some clubs in the country, they'll get really serious about doing field days. They'll have a schedule made up, and you're going to run the VHF band from this point to, this time to this time. You're going to run the 40 meter, you're going to run the 20 meter. You allocated time there. Then when you're done, you're going to be off on standby for an hour or so. Help out if we need it. Then you can come back for another shift, or you're going to help out with food, stuff like that. Some of these clubs get really serious about doing it. Clubs I belong to, it's kind of like we meet up in a park and says, "Hey, throw a wire in that tree branch. You can go over there and grab that picnic table. We'll set the radios here. Who brought the cooler? Where's the cooler? Oh, better thing is, who brought the food?" Field day is notoriously known for very good potlucks. So if you want to have a good meal, go crash a field day event and you'll probably get invited for a very good meal. So field day across the country is going on, and since there's so many operators taking place, we're seeing a lot of input from overseas operators trying to make contacts to the U.S. operators. So again, it's really interesting, but just watch the spectrum of your waterfall about a minute before the start of field day operations, and it's just nothing. And right at 1 o'clock Central Time, when the gold signal goes out, the whole band just explodes. All these operators throwing out CQs. So it's a good opportunity to learn some experience. TLJ loved field day. I mean, she would just go at it like crazy, and that's one thing we're really going to miss. This year, we're going to do something a little different, because my life is different. We're going to start out today by going over to and be with the Northland Amateur Communication Group. They're setting up in Bosworth Park in Manly. We'll spend a couple hours there with those guys, shoot some videos, see how they're operating, what type of fun they're having. Then we're going to run up to WD0 AKX Larry's QTH in the Albert Lee, Minnesota area, where the operators there in Albert Lee are going to meet up there at his location and have field day there. Larry has, I've been told, I've never seen it, a very interesting museum of antique radios in his garage. So it'll be kind of cool to go through there and look around. Also, it's going to be a little ham fest, sounds like, is going to spring up. Some of the guys in the area have some equipment they want to unload, sell, give away. We'll see what I can buy or not buy or wish I could buy, but I'm not really planning on bringing a lot of money. I got enough equipment right now. And then after a couple hours up there, we're going to run back over to the Austin on the way back here to stop at the Moore County Historical Society complex and be with the W0AZR group and see how they're doing. Spend some time there with those guys. We'll head home here back to St. Ansgar. I plotted this out on Google Maps. It's going to be about a 105, 106 mile run today, going from St. Ansgar to Manly to Albert Lee to Austin and back here to St. Ansgar. So, got my driving shoes on, got some food and little snacks and stuff in the car. Come along for the adventure. We made it up here to Manly. Sun's out, so I had to get the hat on, protect my ears. They're already starting to get burnt. We'll spin around here. The guys are over in the pavilion, N.N.O. and Jim, excuse me. Get down here a little bit, setting up a multi-band hustler antenna. Phil is over there working his station on this little vertical antenna. Here we got Chip over there in that pavilion, setting up some equipment. Far canopy is Justin, and the canopy just around there is Russ, all working digital or 20 meters or 40 meters. Everybody's getting one, finding a band to work on. A little close-up view of the antenna. Then they're set up over here. We got a battery to run the small radio with the antenna tuner. You guys are getting the pipe in the ground. Deadman anchors for the guidelines once they get it up. Got a DX Commander here, multi-band radios running around. Got a couple of solar panels running into a deep cycle battery charger. Come around the front here where Justin will be working. We got a FT-DX10 along with one computer to log, the other computer for digital work. He's not quite sure what he's going to do here at this station. They got everybody fairly well spread out. 3B Iowa, I believe, is what they're going to be running. And let's check over here. Okay, this is the Simplex repeater they're setting up. That's what Tip's working on. Be able to use your handheld to get out a little further. There's one area where people are camping in on this side, overnight camping. Again, they'll be here all night and most of tomorrow. So
I'm KE0YHT, and I'm here in Manly for field day. I've got a Yaesu 891, a little LDG tuner to go along with it, and I've set up an antenna here for NVIS operation on 80 meters. So we'll see if we have some luck.
Getting a few more operators showing up here, setting up, but they're just taking their time, slowly going out. They're here mainly for a social event and having fun. Wind's kicking up a little bit, not sure how good some of the video, I'll probably end up doing a voiceover. They are getting ready to haul off that multi-band. I don't know if I'm going to hang around. Drone got up okay, it didn't crash, that's always a good sign. A lot of the guys are taking down their canopies due to the fact the wind was kicking around so much. They were spending more time playing with the canopy, trying to get it held down than actually working the radio. Well, we head up to Albert Lee, see what those guys are up to. Made it up here in Albert Lee at Larry's house. We'll walk around, and first thing I notice is Big Jim's smoker. He's got ribs on there and did a couple briskets. They'll be eating soon. We'll go in, and there's a flea market in the back. We'll make sure we hit. Some people are coming, some people are going. Let's walk around. kind of like the flea market area back here. Some stuff is for sale, some stuff is freebies. Scroll through here. It's kind of neat stuff here and there. Some stuff. I remember those cyanadders when I was up at E.F. Johnson. Matter of fact, I checked the calibration tag on that, and Marini did that one. And some of these proto boards I recognized from the Votech there at Austin when I was taking classes. Then over here, this is kind of like the start of Larry's museum. Different types of radios he's picked up over the years. And sounds like they're starting to make some contacts out there. That was my shin against the boat that's on the ground. Over here we got some older Johnson stuff on top. SDLs, Transcoms 2s, PPLs, FleetComs. Radio Shack equipment. Pretty neat to look at some of this old stuff. More freebies. There's a Kenwood TS2000 got hit by lightning, it looks like. Old prompt programmer, a bunch of other stuff. I found a little power supply in here. Jump up back here. Larry's little antenna farm. A couple of guys are playing around with these, mainly on the loop antenna, and also this vertical behind it. Kind of like find who owns this vertical or this loop, gets more information out of it.
I'm Jim, N0HKA from Emmons. We're at Larry's place today, WD0AKX for field day, and I'm the lunch wagon again. I've done it several years. We've got brisket in the cooler resting there right now, just finished, and we've got some ribs going here.
Can you peek at them?
Yep. We just foiled them up, but we can see what they look like here. They got to finish out in here now, but
ooh,
there is supper. So
thank you.
we should another hour or so, and we should be able to start eating. Hopefully, beat the weather.
Larry let me come up here to his shack. Kind of scan over here all the different stuff he's got. QSL cards. Old metal desk in there with some handheld, some other stuff. Well, information. Let's come over here to his main shack computer there to log calls, stuff like that. Little audio board down there. Monitor over there on a CCT. A really nice setup here he's got. More stuff over here. When you've been in the hobby for quite a few years like Larry has, you accumulate a lot of stuff. We made it to Austin. That's a lot of running around here. We'll walk around here outside before we go inside, and wind was still blowing pretty good there at Larry's, so I didn't dare take the drone up in that neighborhood. Too many trees and wires strung all over. It wouldn't have been pretty. So one thing I've never seen before, we'll go over here. Carson has his old radio trailer here, his vertical, and he's actually using the Sherman tank as his counterpoise. You can see that little blue wire that runs up right above the mud flap there. One good thing, you can use a Sherman tank as a counterpoise for your vertical. He's got his trailer blocked up. Carson was just leaving Larry's place when I was pulling out. He should be showing up here shortly. We'll walk down here. You can always tell an amateur radio operator by the number of antennas that are on their vehicle. So we'll head down here and take a look at Mr. Golly's van here. He's got an interesting little setup here. Poke our head in there and go around and take a look at the tower trailer. Rob's got a solar panel out here. He's inside actually demonstrating his homemade regulator, charger circuit, inverter. And we'll come in here. It's got a Corsair. I've never heard of a Corsair before. But you got an ASU sitting on the ground for secondary. I would go for a little better seating. Then an extension on the hitch receiver up to his antenna. Those are actually ham sticks, if I remember right. He was explaining to me. Instead of being vertical, he's got them running horizontal. And over here we got a forklift battery, if I remember right, or a large battery. And that's how that's what he uses for his unit. He was to get inside there, take a look at his little circuit. He's pretty much working on in his house to have the ham shack and home network and some other stuff actually all running off battery powered, charged by your solar array. So just to be prepared. We'll come over here where the tower trailer is. They don't have it up too high because, again, for field day, really don't need it. We have a 2-meter beam up there on top underneath the US flag. Then we got a tri-bander beam underneath that. And we have 2 dipoles. Looks like we got the 40-meter and the 80-meter dipole, looks like. They go stringing out this way. We come over here and the generator's over there in the corner. Nice little area. We can set the trailer up here. And like to thank the phone's ringing, the Historical Society of Morrow County letting us use the building. Got another little vertical. Vertical getting kind of popular all of a sudden. What do we got here? A JPC7 antenna, along with some window screening for the ground plane. I've always seen that underneath the antenna, a little closer, along with some radials. It's kind of nice there when you're working on the antenna. If you drop a screw or something, you can at least find it in the window screen.
WA0RLY Carl, N0RZOL, working the single sideband station. Talking with all 3 groups, the bands are really strange this field day. Here we have KC0NPG Vince. Even he commented that the digital side would be there real strong, then drop out for a while, then come back real strong. It made field day interesting.
Here we got Mr. Rob's.
What's that?
Just showing you your little circuitry. Now this is for your home battery, right?
Yeah.
So, and that's,
Monitors and charges the battery.
and that's going on off. You got a Raspberry Pi, you were saying?
Yep.
On there?
Raspberry Pi 0W.
0W. Interesting.
Another one of our digital stations here, chasing the digital signal. And again, same operations. It'll be strong one moment, then it drop off a little bit, come right back, nice and strong.
We're been a long day so far. Was kind of thinking about going to Spring Valley. They're not doing field day in Spring Valley. It's at a QTH outside of to the west. It looked like Spring Valley, straight south of Stewartville. I think we'll pass on that this year. We'll maybe hit that next year. Due to the fact that I don't want to be running out there by the time you get over there, it'll be a couple, an hour from now. And it's going to be getting dark soon with the storms moving in. We'll probably don't want to get out there, unknown area, caught in a thunderstorm. So we'll stay here for a little bit longer, try to help them out, try to make some contact. Food is on the way. Field days always have very good potlucks. So, and it sounds like down at one of the rental buildings we got some type of event going on. I hear polka music. So I'm not a polka dancer, so we'll be safe there. We'll check out what's going on. Quick shot here of Carson's rig, little camper slash ice house slash mobile ham station, you were saying?
Yep.
Yeah, real nice rig. Had a lot of fun. That was quite interesting, going from Manly, Elberly, Austin, and back here. Would love to turn and go on over to Spring Valley with that group, but not quite sure where we're doing field day. Didn't want to get out there in the country. It sounded like it was somebody's house they were at out in the country or farm site. And this afternoon they were talking about some pretty good thunderstorms rolling through the area. Didn't want to be out there in an area I was not familiar with, trying to find a location and dodging storms. So I kind of decided to cut that out. Now I wish I would have gone. The storms have moved further to the south. We got a little rain here in St. Ansgar. It is a typical field day weekend where it rains either Saturday night or Sunday, and it's just part of nature. I'm gonna get a couple adult beverages, go sit in the camper here, throw the antenna up, help some clubs make some points. I'll probably be a 1 Alpha Iowa, KC0 VII. So, hope to hear from you, make contacts. Oh, one other thing. Google stated it was going to be 105 mile when I plotted out on the phone this morning. Just look at the odometer on the Chevy Bolt, again, all electric, 135 miles, and it was quite fun. 7-3.
Be sure to tell your friends, neighbors, other hams. Subscribe, hit that bell to get notification when new videos come out. Add comments below. 7-3, everybody.
The third goal of the third